going, then you take the number 2 and number 1 together, and it sweeps you out. And that's fantastic. And that number 1 formula has even been used for people who had the record now is once every 6 months a bowel movement. That's the all-time record. And I don't know how she was still alive, and she was very thin, the person who was having one every 6 months, and she wasn't even anorexic. I don't know how that's possible, but, it's a Houdini act or something. I don't know, but that's what was going on. And she thought that was normal. And a lot of people have them once a month, once every other month. America is a constipated nation. That's why we have the top slot for bowel cancer and rectal cancer and all these other cancers. So, okay. And once you clean out your bowel, this is great. Your tummy will be much flatter. So if you've been buying all those ab machines on TV, exercising your abs, maybe you just have a full bowel and you just need to clean it out. Interesting thought. Won't give you an instant six-pack, but it'll take a few inches off depending on how many inches of fecal matter there are in there. And once you get that out, you'll say, wow, I'm really looking pretty good, and I'm feeling really good, and I have energy. Then you'll have energy to exercise. So this is great. It has benefits all over the place. So we have a great question in the chat room here. Gluten-free foods, gluten-free bread, and what's wrong with gluten? Well, a lot of people have trouble digesting gluten, and that ties right in with the constipation. When you're constipated, you can wear off the little, what they call villi in your intestines. They're little finger-like projections that increase the surface area and help you absorb nutrients. And when you're very constipated, it's like sending concrete through your bowel, and it's going to rip those right off the sides of your bowel, and it's going to end up being smooth. And so this is what happens in people with like celiac disease and gluten intolerance syndromes and conditions. And when they lose those, they can't digest gluten effectively anymore, and it gives them all kinds of digestive problems and symptoms. So what I would do for that, in addition to avoiding the gluten if it's giving you trouble, there's a couple of great herbs: slippery elm bark, and that's the inner bark, and licorice root. A lot of people are familiar with licorice root. They used to make licorice candy out of it, not anymore. There are a couple licorices that you can get at a health food store. One's called Panda. I forget the other brand name, but they're both very good, and they use actual licorice in the licorice, and there's no refined sugar in them. So check your health food store. Say, I'm looking for licorice with real licorice, and they'll point you in the right direction. And they're very, very good, and they're much more robust and flavorful than the commercially produced, mass-produced candies that you find in every store. So licorice root, make a tea of it or powder it, put it in with some slippery elm. Make a gruel with the slippery elm by mixing it with honey first and then hot water. It's very important to mix it with honey first, or maple syrup, real maple syrup, not the corn syrup junk, because that will help you to disperse it throughout the water. If you just put it straight in water, it'll clump up, and you'll never get it to mix, ever. Slippery elm is very mucilaginous and clumpy and gloppy. Anyway, you get that, stir it up like a thick tea, and this tea you don't strain the powders out of. You're just going to kind of eat it, actually, like an oatmeal. And with the licorice and the slippery elm, you can even put a little powdered comfrey leaf or root in there. The root is strongest and best. And that will help regenerate those little villi in your bowel, and then you may even be able to tolerate the gluten. Some people also who have gluten problems will respond well to switching to a sprouted bread, because it changes the whole chemistry of the grain. And that may be your thing or not, but try the slippery elm and the licorice and see what you get. And the bowel cleanse that we've been talking about, and that will help you tremendously. Then even if you want to stay gluten-free, you'll still be healthier. And so that's my take on gluten. It is a natural part of grain, but we have gotten to an unhealthy point in our lives as a nation and as a people where we have trouble processing it. Like, there's nothing wrong with honey or fresh fruit, but diabetics have trouble processing the sugar from even honey and fresh fruit because their body has gone to such an extreme unhealth-wise that they can't process even this very natural, healthy substance that's not refined. So we need to correct that first, and then we can get back to eating this natural stuff that